Hi, my name is Mark Chavez. I didn't do an introduction, so it's nice to meet you. So today I'll be doing a mini lecture on Aristotle. Um, so here it goes. First, Aristotle was a Greek philosopher. He lived from 384 BC to 322 BC. He was a student of Plato, and Plato was a student of the famous Socrates. He studied many subjects, including physics, metaphysics, logic, music, theater, linguistics, politics, government, etc. He studied many things. Though there are many facts about his life, that's not necessarily the route I'm going to go, but more I'm going to be talking about his ethical principles and virtue philosophy. Though there are three Aristotelian ethical works that were either considered to be either by Aristotle or one of his students. The first being Nicomachean Ethics. The second being, I have a hard time pronouncing this, Eudemian Ethics, and Magna Moralia. Nicomachean Ethics is considered his most popular and most mature. The Eudemian Ethics is considered kind of less mature and not very popular. The Nicomachean Ethics has many translations and is very publicly used. Let's see what else. Oh, there's also a fourth treaty. There's also a fourth ethical work. It's on his view of politics. Aristotle's Ethics on Politics states that the good of the individual is subordinate to the good of the city-state. So Aristotle's Ethics builds upon Plato's and Socrates' view. But what makes Aristotle distinct is that there's not many works published by Plato and Socrates. There's actually none by Socrates and Plato, just a few letters and writings. Aristotle has the most writings and stuff. But the three they're very similar, and so they call that the Socratic. So Aristotle's Ethics, or study of character, is built around the premise that people should achieve an excellent character as a precondition for attaining happiness or well-being. It is sometimes referred to, in comparison to later ethical theories, as a character-based ethics. Like Plato and Socrates, he emphasized the importance of reason for human happiness, and that there are logical and natural reasons for humans to behave virtuously and try to become virtuous. He believed that ethical knowledge is not only a theoretical knowledge, but rather that a person must have experience of the actions in life and have been brought up in fine habits to become good. For a person to become virtuous, you can't simply study what virtue is, but must actually do virtuous things. So obviously Aristotle believes that the one who's been brought up in good virtuous homes will have more of a knowledge and more of an upbringing to be virtuous than the one who is not. Let's see, where am I at in time? 4:15. So a little bit about his moral virtue. Moral virtue, or excellence of character, concerns what we do voluntarily and not what we do because we are forced to do so. The traditional word for the opposite of virtue is vice. Aristotle believed that every ethical virtue or positive character trait can be described as a pleasant intermediate activity between a painful excess and a painful deficiency. But seeing what is most pleasant and most painful in truth is not something everyone can do easily, especially if they were poorly raised and inexperienced, like I mentioned before. Another way Aristotle describes each of the moral virtues is a correct aiming at what is beautiful. So, for example, courageous action is a mean between the painful activities of fear and rash overconfidence. Too much fear or too little confidence leads to cowardice, and too little fear or too much confidence can lead to rash, foolish choices. But courage is also described as an ability to rationally choose the beautiful, which in some cases can be beautiful death. So he was a big believer in that the human nature obviously wants to attain happiness, and so that is like our goal. That is our that is just wired in us to want, and so there is a yearning and a longing to be virtue in that. So I think that's it with my lecture with Aristotle. Sorry this video has been posted late. I work a lot. So anyways, thank you.